well, the Eastern Cape Premier, Oscar Mabuyane, says he's worried about the recurrence of violent attacks on families in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, OR Tambo and Chris Hani districts. He's urged law enforcement to get to the bottom of these killings. Let's discuss this further now with the Premier spokesperson, Khuselwa Rantjie. Ms. Rantjie, good afternoon. Welcome to Today on eNCA. Very tragic news indeed. I mean, 4 people killed in a separate attack in Gqeberha in your province, and now last night we have 10 people who have been killed. That's a lot of people dying in a very short space of time. Any idea at this stage what happened in Mthatha last night?
Good afternoon, Dan, to you and your listeners. At this stage, we are still hoping for more information to come out of the investigation that the South African Police Services is conducting. However, it tends to be sometimes related when you look into the OR Tambo district. It tends to be related to issues around stock theft and related issues. But at this stage, we are still awaiting for more information to come up. However, the Premier has really sent his condolences to those families that have lost their loved ones. You would note that the village in Biki, wherein 7 people died last night, we also faced another tragic incident in November 2022, wherein a family was wiped out in the similar fashion. That's why the Premier is urging law enforcement agencies to really look into these matters and treat each and every case as a priority case, because we are seeing more and more of this, and they are coming hot on the heels of the other. On Tuesday, we're in the Nelson Mandela Bay, wherein about 7 people died in one single incident. We noticed that also in the Chris Hani district, we are facing similar incidents around Kutubeni village. So the Premier is really urging our law enforcement officers to work on this, and also our communities to assist in terms of providing information that may lead to the arrest and the prosecution of those that are found to be linked to these cases.
Yeah, just the other day, the Premier describing this situation that people in the Eastern Cape are dying like flies, and you are suggesting it could be related to stock theft. Could there be other reasons?
At this stage, Dan, I think we'll have to wait for the report of the South African Police Services when they have completed their investigation. I think it just becomes one of those issues that when you look into the OR Tambo District Municipality, you will find that the issue of stock theft becomes one of the key issues that causes incidents of this nature. But at this stage, we are not ruling out anything, and will await law enforcement to investigate. We know that right now they are doing their profiling work, both in the incident that happened last night as well as the incident that happened in Gqeberha on Sunday, so that from that they can be able then to begin to put together all the pieces of information that they have, so that they can arrive at some conclusion as to what happened and what are the reasons behind the incidents that we are seeing. But certainly, as a province, and the Premier is very much concerned about these incidents, because they tend to really take lives of innocent people. Who look at the ages that Ronald was talking about just now, that it's grandmothers, it's children, that are dying a senseless death. That's why the Premier is saying we must do all we can as government and work with the South African Police Service to ensure that we get to the bottom of this.
But are they failing, Ms. Rantjie? I'm asking this because in November, you've referred to the other incident of Biki, where a family was wiped out in November last year. It's nearly 3 months now. Have there been, for example, any arrests in relation to that earlier, the November shooting in Biki?
Yes, then there has been an arrest of about 3 suspects in the matter of Biti that happened in November, and further leads are being followed in terms of that. We think that it's when communities come forward, the police are able to work faster in terms of finding who those perpetrators are. That's why we continuously call on community members to work with the South African Police Services in terms of these matters. We also, I think in the last year again, there was a similar incident that happened in the area of Utenek in the Nelson Mandela Bay. Even there, when we spoke to the leadership of SAPS, they're saying that community involvement was key in terms of them being able to move faster in finding the perpetrators of those violence.
So the next steps now for you as a province would be to, I guess, step up the efforts to track down or hunt down the people who were involved in the killings outside Mthatha and Qunu, which is also not that far from Mthatha. Are those the next steps for you? And do you think the community is listening to the Premier's call for them to come up and give any information that may help track down the killers?
If you look at the current or the recent incident wherein police were able to find some information through community involvement, we will say that they are closely working with the SAPS, but those efforts need to be ramped up a little bit so that we are able to move faster and we see less and less of these incidents, and where possible, we are able to prevent them. Also, the Premier is in constant engagement with the Minister of Police to make sure that we look into other strategies that can be implemented to prevent crime in the province. You would understand that or remember that in last year when the Premier tabled his State of the Province address, he mentioned that we are also looking forward as a province to the establishment of additional police stations in some of these areas so that communities are able to have somewhere close by where they can come in and report crime or engage the police in terms of how they can contribute in issues of bringing stability, peace, and also to improve safety and security in their communities. Okay. So there's quite a lot that we are working on as the provincial government, and certainly in the next 2 weeks when the Executive Council meets for its two-day Lekgotla, I'm sure that this is one of the issues that will be on the table so that we can assist the Department of Community Safety that oversees the work that SAPS is doing in the province, and also make contributions in terms of how the South African Police Services can work better in the Eastern Cape.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon here on Today. That's Ms. Khuselwa Rantjie speaking on behalf of the Eastern Cape's Premier's office.